This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 8th Annual Precious Metal Summit here in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me right now is Mike Hudson from Mawson Resources. It's a publicly traded company. Two symbols for you, MAW on the TSX Venture and MWSNF in the US. Mike, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks, Robert. Pleasure to be here again.
Yes, it's great to have you back as always. So, for our audience, we'll start with an overview, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, Mawson is an explorer in Finland. We've got a very large area that's just pivoting to a maiden resource. So, very interesting time for the company.
So let's hear more about that. You know, last time we spoke, I think, was at this conference about a year ago. So tell me, what's going on in the company?
Lots of drilling, lots of geophysics. We had some major investors come in over during this year actually. So Goldcorp have come in recently and taken a 13% position in the company. Our long-term supporters continuing in endowment funds here in the US, private equity. So it's a very well-supported company. We've got 10 million in cash. We've just spent 6 million in drilling. So that's what's really created this opportunity, I suppose. It's been a very exciting discovery over the last few years, but drilling has really made that pivot from an exciting gold discovery to a maiden resource, metallurgical work, and most critically, we've added a cobalt angle to the story.
And Mike, in terms of maiden resource, you know, for those who may not understand what that means exactly, can you explain that?
Just very simply put, it's the first time a resource will be quoted on the property. So a first up resource that will be both gold and cobalt combined.
Okay, so let's get into that development. Where are we at on the projects that the company is currently working on?
As I mentioned, a maiden resource is coming up, so we've just started that process. By to the other angle, the cobalt angle, that we've re-assayed about 7,000 assays across the property, and very surprisingly, the whole property is coming back with a very interesting cobalt potential byproduct. So it adds about 20 or 30% in situ value to the rock, and most importantly, the minerals are in a form that are separable. So it also creates a great opportunity for Finland. It's become a very strategic mineral, of course, as we understand in the business, and Finland is after a sustainable supply of battery materials. So we've got the gold, which is very much the driver of the project, but the cobalt adds a very much a strategic angle and will help the project advance quite rapidly, I think.
So for those who may be, you know, somewhat novice in the mining industry, you know, tell me what that means, that this discovery has both gold and cobalt to it. Is it that you made the gold discovery and there's cobalt that comes along with it, you know, so you can use more of the rock? I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, it basically means the cobalt is associated with the gold. So we're not looking at a gold resource over here and a cobalt resource. What we've got is the gold is the core, and on the shoulders of that core and through the gold zone we've got cobalt. So it adds grade, it adds continuity, and it adds volume. So it works very well technically too. So it's in terms of the potential mine that will be there, it will be mined as one block, both the gold and cobalt together.
And again, for those who also don't know, you know, what's some of the utility for cobalt?
Well, cobalt is the metal of choice at the moment because a large percentage of lithium-ion batteries use cobalt in the cathode. So if we're going down an electrified world, which we seem to be from cars and battery storage around homes, we need a lot more cobalt. The prediction for cobalt is very bullish.
So lay down I guess you'd say the roadmap then for where you are today and then where you want the company to be, you know, from what you can tell me in the near future.
Sure. So this year we're starting drilling again in a few weeks, but we're also going down that maiden resource. We're doing lots of geophysics on the ground to add further drill targets so we can go back in there with a much bigger program this winter, which is much easier to drill during winter up there in the north of Finland. So we'll have a big program, a $6 or $7 million drill program during the winter time up there. Then we'll go through another resource expansion, and then we're looking to go down the EIA process internally, so an environmental impact assessment process, which is more advanced permitting internally in Finland to work it towards that mine.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Mawson Resources?
MawsonResources.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 8th Annual Precious Metal Summit here in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me again has been Mike Hudson from Mawson Resources, publicly traded company, two symbols for you, MAW on the TSX Venture, and MWSNF in the US. Mike, always a pleasure.
Robert, a pleasure too.